since then, we've been finishing our semester.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing
doing a lot of things. We've been real busy.
Yeah.
Busy getting engaged. Hey!
Hey, homebodies!
Welcome back to the Introvert City podcast, where we discuss culture, media, and faith from the perspective of
an introvert's complex mind. Ooh! Seth forgot the intro before we started doing it. Can you believe that?
Literally, you did. You were like, "What's the intro? Am I forgetting?"
Yeah,
and
but
I said,
you forgot more than me.
No, you didn't even say anything. I actually tried to say something. You were like,
The reason we forgot is because we haven't been here in a while. So, for those of you who have stuck around since the beginning, you know that the last big thing that we did was our live event, which took place February 21st.
It did.
And that was crazy. That took so much planning and preparation and execution. And honestly, it was like everything was great. And you can listen to those 3 parts on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts.
You can.
It was really special for us. And since then, we've been finishing our semester.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing
doing a lot of things. We've been real busy.
Yeah.
Busy getting engaged. Hey!
Gang! Is it straight? Wait, is my ring straight?
Taylor, get a close up on that thing. Get a close up on that thing. Show some
The
pictures on
ring.
that thing. Show some pictures on that thing.
Stop.
I proposed to her, and did she say yes?
I said yes.
She said yes. Of course she would. That would suck if she didn't.
Can you guys believe it? I think we have done so many relationship episodes, and it's kind of funny looking back because we started my freshman year of college.
Freshman.
Wow. And we had done so many relationship topics, like our dating advice and our story and like Q&As and stuff. And now it's like we've reached this point, and it's so weird to watch those episodes back because it's like, wow, we were kids, but we're kind of still kids, but also we're at the next step now, which is so
adults.
crazy. Yeah. So fear not for our long-term listeners. We don't want our show to become a relationship-only show. At least my intention is that we don't come here every month or every week or however often we record and just talk about our relationship. However, in this time in our life, we are celebrating our relationship in a very exciting way. We've been together it'll be 5 years this winter, and this is just a really exciting time for us. So if you're annoyed at this stage of life, that's okay. And we'll be back doing regular content. And I think a part of this episode and why we are coming back today is to work through together what we want the Introvert City to be. Because we started it a while ago. We were different people a while ago. And we wanted to really empower introverts to know that they can do whatever their gifts call them to do without being afraid. And I think you guys hopefully have caught on to that message. We've had some really awesome interviews, some really awesome interactions with the community.
Mm-hmm.
And our community has remained tight-knit, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Thank you once again for the Parksburg Point, Swan for
Yes.
Kids, and Assets in particular. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Dwayne. And thank you, Andres. We really appreciate
Woohoo.
it. And that was such an amazing experience for the two of us. I know Carina has done events before, but for me, that was a big deal. And the two of us have never really put on anything like that on our own before.
Stop laughing. Seth had a voice crack. You guys aren't hearing it.
And yeah, it was a great experience. It ended up being great. Everyone who was there really had a great time. Yeah, and we just had some really blessed conversations. And we hope to have more like that in the future.
Yeah.
But we definitely are taking a turn, and I think our engagement is marking a pretty big change in our life at the current moment. See, I know Carina just said we don't want to make this a couples podcast, but this is going to be a couples episode, so get over it.
And it might be a couples season.
Yeah.
I don't like using the word season flippantly, but this is a time when we're excited about it, and so it's probably going to be the topic of conversation.
We're going to talk, the next few months, we're going to be just doing, wedding planning, housing, budgeting here, and, setting out invitations, all that type of good stuff. So we're going to be in full-on relationship mode for the next few months.
Relationship mode.
I mean, we're always in relationship mode, but as in we're going to be in, hard relationship, mode.
Yeah.
But I think something that is cool to reflect on is that when we both met, I don't know if we had the same opinion on marriage, at least in the way of getting married and what that meant and the timing and the importance of it all. And if we really were even going to get married. Carina asked me not to, like, maybe even the same night or maybe the next day if I thought we were going to get married.
What?
Or,
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. Yep. You asked me.
No.
Yeah, you literally asked me.
Our first date?
No. As in after I proposed.
Oh, wait, what? After you
Yeah.
proposed, I asked if we were going to get married?
No. You asked, did you think we were going to get married in the beginning? Like, did you think we were going to make it to this point?
Oh, I probably did ask that. Guys, the night we got engaged and like for the next couple of days, I was in not reality. Like my head was spinning. I was so excited and feeling so many emotions. And it was, bless you. It was the first time our families had really come together. And yeah, I'm sorry if I don't remember a lot from that night. It was I was feeling so many things, but it makes sense that I asked that.
No, it's okay. But yeah, Carina had asked me like maybe either that night or the next day, because we actually spent like that whole weekend together. She just asked me like if we really thought we were going to make it to this point, or if I thought in the beginning, like if I put myself in my shoes 3 years ago, and I was honest, I was like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if my original intent was to marry you. I don't know. But I think there was a certain point where I shifted and the reality of this relationship shifted, and we realized that, yeah, this is really serious. And I think 2022 was probably the year that tested all of that. 2022 to 2023 was really the year that I think tested all of those emotions and opinions and statuses of our relationship and where we were going and where we were heading. And I think that 2024 in particular was the absolute confirmation that this is unavoidable. Mm-hmm. Not in a bad way. I know unavoidable sounds kind of like urgent, but it's in like it felt like I have no intention of breaking up. Why are we not getting married yet? And so, especially when I got my new job, I was like, yeah, this job is going to be for me to save money for that ring, and so that we can have a life, you know. And so, I think in particular last year was really just setting up for this moment. And so I am going to now tell the story of how we got engaged and the day from my perspective.
Buckle up.
And then Miss Carina, my beautiful fiance, is going to tell. I know, isn't that weird, guys? Fiance.
Still don't call me Miss Carina, though. What? Go ahead.
My beautiful fiance on the other side of the studio will then tell her side of the story. So why don't you just ask me how I felt that morning?
Okay, sir. So how are you feeling when you picked me up before our picnic that
Thank you
day?
for asking. So actually, I was feeling stressed like for not the entire year, but once the month of. So I proposed on May 16th. For about the whole month of April is where I really started feeling it. Like it was like, I was like once April 1st happened, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen in like a little over a month. And I started really feeling it. In particular, like the second week of April, my mind was like, okay, we have like 4 weeks. Now we have 3 weeks. Now it's 2 weeks. It's next week. It's in 2 days.
How long have you known the date for?
I've known the date for probably about 6 months, I want to say. We'll just say February.
Sure.
Is where I really dwindled it down to like May 16th. And I was feeling it. And there were so many things happening in that period. There were so many events, so many things. Some other friends of ours got married as well. Mm-hmm. Shout out to them. And there were just so many events happening. And I was like, oh my gosh, all these other events are happening. And my mind is on just one thing. And that's like me proposing in like a few weeks. And so May 15th, I had told like everyone at my job that I was proposing.
I was going to say, don't leave out the fact that you told everyone.
No, yeah, I told everyone. And
all my friends, like everybody knew except me.
Taylor knew, Darian knew, Jojo and Gabby knew. I'm sorry, Josiah and Gabby knew. Jay and Naomi, shout out.
Shout out, all of those people have been on our show before.
Yeah, they all knew. Everyone knew. And my plan, which I'll just say what we actually did. I won't just tell you the whole plan. I'll say what we actually did. So May 15th, the night of May 15th happens, and my grandparents, they came in because I wanted them to be there, and I wanted her family to be there at her house at the end of the day, so that we can come back and surprise her for like a nice dinner and meeting with the family, which ended up being really nice. But so the night of May 15th happens, and that night I was freaking out. I was like, I just had to be alone in my room by myself for like the whole night, because I just like, I was freaking out. And so I got up that morning, and I probably got up at like 6, which normally for my job is not that early, but for a Friday or for a day that I'm off, that's really early for me. So I got up really early, and I just started thinking about what I was going to do. I was thinking about how exactly to get it all done, what I wanted to wear, when I was exactly going to leave. And I was nervous that whole week because it was supposed to rain that day. Thank God it actually didn't end up raining at all during the time that we went out.
It was crazy. It rained before, stopped during the duration that we were there, and then rained after.
Yeah, once we had gotten back to Carina's house, it started raining again. So it's like, it was perfect. It literally was perfect. I leave my house at about, I don't know, I want to say 12:30, and I go to a local sandwich shop and pick us up some sandwiches. Then I probably meet Carina.
Significant. We went to that sandwich shop a lot as teenagers.
Yes. Back when we used to work at the ice cream shop where we met, that was like it, because basically it's the ice cream shop. Taylor, you know what I'm talking about. It's the ice cream shop, and then it's the sandwich shop right above.
Yep.
So it's basically like on your shift, step outside, walk upstairs to the sandwich shop, get a sandwich, come back down, eat your lunch in the back, maybe go back and get a bag of chips or a soup. Stuff like that. And so that it was just a very special spot for the two of us. And we had a lot of dates, like after work dates or before work dates or just normal dates we would have there, and we would eat a lot of food from that place. And we hadn't eaten there in a long time. And so I thought this would be a perfect place,
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to a local grocery shop that was near her place, and I picked up some flowers, I picked up some chocolates, I picked up some fruit. And then I went to go meet her. And
A+.
Before that, I forget if I had called a friend or not, but I had like stayed in my car and I just prayed for like a little bit. And I was like, oof. And then I texted her friend, Lily, shout out Lily.
Shout out.
I texted her that we were going to be at the place. Her friend Lily, for some background information, is a really good photographer. Go check her out.
Yes.
If you look at the post on both of our personals,
we tagged her, don't worry.
Her stuff is
She's
in the caption. Her picture's absolutely beautiful. Thank you once again, Lily. Big shout out.
That's my girl.
But I had texted her, and I was like, hey, we're going to be there at like, I don't know, 2 or whatever. So, just try and be there around, I guess, 2:30 or 3, yada, yada. And then I went to get Carina, and we headed off from there. And for about an hour to an hour and a half, we just kind of chilled out at a local park by the Conestoga River. I can say that. It's a big river. That was very secluded. In fact, there was only one person in the entire park. This is a big, big park. So it was like perfect. We had our lunch. Then we started walking around a little bit, just kind of walking throughout the park.
Seth is wasting time.
Yeah, I'm trying my best to waste time nonchalantly. And I thought I did a decent job.
Mm-hmm.
We went around the park, even to parts of the park I had never seen before. We went on the swings. I had asked her some questions like, what are your favorite things?
What are your top 10 favorite things? And I was like, what? Okay.
And so we just talked for a bit, and her friend had come in, and I had texted her a bit too early that I was going to start because I saw her walking, and she was still far away. That was on me. But then we started it, and what I did was my plan was to give her 3 gifts. Each gift would pertain more to the proposal.
Mm-hmm.
So the first gift, and by the way, I had disguised this thing as kind of like a celebration of, you just got a job, she just got a new job, and, kind of like you finish your semester at school type stuff. So the first gift I gave her were like little trinkets for a desk. I gave her like a little trash can for like Post-it notes and stuff. And then I gave her like a little succulent plant you can put on a desk. And there's something else I gave you that I forgot. A little plushie, yeah. And then the next gift was a card. And inside that card was a speech that I had read. And I really prolonged it. And when I was done, at the end of the speech, it was like, I'm so proud of you. I love you. but let's be honest, we're not really here for your job.
When he said, let's be honest, my heart just like, I couldn't feel anything. I was so excited.
Yeah, and then I had her open the last gift while I got into position. And it was the appraisal for the ring, which is basically just, it says appraisal for the ring.
It's
it
like
shows
receipt
the replacement value, all that
receipt.
type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I proposed, and she absolutely tackled me. Literally, my hand was like covered in mud. I actually dropped the ring box on the floor.
Guys, I was so excited.
We have pictures.
I was
some pictures
flying in the air. I like knocked him over. I was just so.
Show a picture of it. Show a picture of it right now. Of her diving at me.
I didn't know what to do. I really never knew how I would react. And I think I went through all the stages, like denial. I was like, no, this is not happening. No, not because I didn't want it to happen. I was just like, this isn't real. This isn't reality. And I was freaking out and I was so excited. I was jumping around, like flailing my arms and everything. And then when I said yes and everything, and I actually saw the ring on my finger, it was like sobbing. I couldn't control my tears. And then I was very calm. And then Seth was like, I have another surprise for you. And Lily was there. And it was just so many emotions. I was so happy. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing, though, is that when I had actually, like, gotten on my knees for the second time to propose, she was like, and she was like,
I was freaking out.
And I was like, what? Like, I was like, are you going to say yes? And she was like, and, like, obviously she was going to say yes.
No, but obviously I wasn't nervous. And it's not like I was contemplating. I think
you just had so many emotions.
I didn't know what to do. I totally froze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then she said yes, and it was beautiful, and her friend Lily came out, and, they squealed and whatever. And then we took, like, a photo shoot. Yeah. And then we headed back to the ice cream shop that we used to work at. We got some ice cream, and it was pretty good. And then we headed back to her house, and then her family was there, and big surprise, everyone's there.
Yeah, and there were just, like I said, so many emotions because it was the first time our families had really gotten together, and extended family, like
was cool
grandparents and everything.
There.
It was so cool, and I just felt so celebrated.
And I was nervous at first that they weren't going to mesh well, maybe, but nah, everyone just got along. Like, it was just such it was
natural.
It just vibed. Everyone got along. The grandmas got along. The dads were fine. The moms were fine. The siblings were all fine. All the family friends that we invited, they had a great time. Everything was good. The food was good. It was just a good night. It was a really good celebration. It was fun, and it was nice to see both sides in such support of the decision that the two of us were making.
Yeah. And everyone gave, little toasts and speeches, which was really nice. It didn't feel overbearing or anything. I just felt genuinely celebrated. And I think for me as a people pleaser, oldest daughter, there's a lot of factors about my personality that make it difficult for me to allow myself to be celebrated, if that makes sense. I'm always trying to make sure that other people feel that way. And so for the first time in a while, it was like, I need to let these people celebrate us. And it was just, freeing.
So now tell me your side from the beginning of that day.
Yeah, I won't go through every single detail because it was accurate, but just
tell me how you were feeling in the months.
Yeah, my perspective. So I don't know how much of our story we've actually shared, but we've been together for, obviously, like I said, almost 5 years.
We've shared a lot of our story.
Well, yeah, I'm just talking about like progressing towards engagement. I don't know how much we've talked about that. I think most of you guys know that we did pre-engagement counseling in our third year, I think. Yeah, it was our third year. And basically what that is counseling with one of the churches we were attending at the time. And it wasn't serious. It was serious, but it wasn't like you guys are locked in together. There's no escape. You have to be together. It was, let me challenge you with questions so that you guys can really see if you do want to move to the next step towards engagement. So for us, it was really, really helpful. And we had been through a lot of things. For a high school sweetheart couple, we had faced a lot of challenges that were, effects from our childhood or the way that we operated. Like, we went through a lot of things that a lot of people wouldn't need to work out in counseling, but we did at the time, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. Shout out to our pre-engagement counselor, George. We talk about that time in our life so much. But all of that stuff going on, I began to know very early on that we would be together and we would get married. And I am the type of person who fantasizes about things. And so I always would imagine an early wedding, and I would get too into the weeds sometimes of thinking about it and focusing more on the aesthetic of a wedding as opposed to the covenant of marriage. So I I think we needed this time in this last couple of months of like not having that and enjoying the pre-stages. And now that it's here, I feel like I can fully enjoy the engagement stage and fully understand and fully like be immersed in it. And we're not in school for the time being. And so we can just like be, and we can prepare, and it feels, I feel at peace. I'm so excited to be moving into that next stage of life.
It was kind of crazy because like the couple months leading up to this, like every now and then Carina would just be like, you know, once we're engaged, we can plan all this. And it's like, I know we're already at that level, but we're still not there yet. But I want to be there. So I already did this, and I wanted to like look into this. And
I'm sorry.
Like, no, but it's okay. But it's like just in my mind knowing I'm like, ugh, she just needs to wait like a couple weeks, and then we're there. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah, backstory. But as far as the events of the actual day, what you said was accurate. Seth keeps denying it, but I'm telling him I woke up that day and I had this knowing feeling. And my friend Ellie, when she got engaged, she told me, she was like, you're going to know on the day. And I did. And Seth is like, no, you didn't know. But I did. No. Let me finish. Things kept happening that made me question or doubt myself and think, oh, maybe it's not happening. Maybe I was wrong. But initially, I had the feeling. And you were nervous. Like, you picked me up and you were all quiet and stuff. And I was like, But I also tried my best not to focus on that because I really did want to have a good time. And it was a special date regardless because we had finished the semester. I was going to start a new job. And it was just one of those dates where you know it's going to be good. You know you're going to have good conversations. It was very romantic. We were having a picnic and everything. So regardless, I was trying to focus on that. But then things kept happening. Like, Seth told me he only had a little bit of time to be there because he had plans afterwards. My friend Lily, who I had known, she always told me she would be the one to take photos for our engagement. And I didn't know when that was going to be. And so she had texted like a group chat with my friends that something funny happened at work. And I was like, oh, she's at work, so she's not here. And so those things kept happening that made me doubt whether or not it was going to happen.
And the reasons like for what I had given her for why I had to leave was I was like, my family has something, so I had to only have a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And then Ellie, shout out to Ellie.
Shout out Ellie, my best friend.
I had gotten in touch with her to get her nails done earlier that week. She was like, I want to have my nails done if I'm going to get engaged.
Yeah,
and
obviously.
And then Ellie also I was like, can you also ask her to go out to dinner that night? Yeah. So like the night seems like it's booked.
Right. You know? Obviously, we did not go to dinner.
Yeah, and as soon as I was like, yeah, we're not going to dinner. But,
anyway. So I was just feeling a lot of things, and like Seth said, once it actually happened and Seth got on one knee, I didn't know how to react because it's a moment every girl thinks about since they are old enough to understand what engagement is, and they plan it in their head for years. But once you're there, you just don't know how you will react. So I was freaking out. I was like flailing everywhere. And then after we took our photos and everything, it was just us for like another 20 minutes or so. And we just kind of soaked everything in, and we're looking at the water and we're like, wow, the moment that we had been talking about in counseling and over the past like year is here. And now what? And it almost felt like the end marker, like we've made it. But we have to remind ourselves that it's literally the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
Like we haven't reached a certain point. It's the beginning of what is to come. And that is just so, so exciting.
Yeah. Like it's like the day happened and it's like, and I was like, oh, well, Carina was like, oh, isn't it weird to be like, it's already over? And I was like, it's not over. Like the first day of engagement, this is like, it's not really like a 1-day event. It's like the next 10 months is engagement. Mm-hmm. Like that's what the next 10 months is engagement. And the rest of our life is our marriage. But, you know, of course, you only have your wedding for 1 day. But that engagement, this is basically an engagement period. Mm-hmm. You know, there's really there's the day of the proposal, but then the engagement is the rest of the time until you actually get married. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so it's like thinking about that and just knowing that's like, you know, we're actually on, like now our relationship is serious.
Yeah, or at
But-
least
but-
perceived that way.
Yeah, because it's like after a while, and I know you're gonna agree with me on this. Like, the term girlfriend was just like, come on, man. What am I,
Yeah.
5?
No,
Like the term
that's-
girlfriend was like
for
come on.
us, of course, it's for other people. Like you could
No,
be,
yeah.
you could be in your 30s, 40s, and have a girlfriend or boyfriend. But for us, it's like after that many years,
Yeah.
it was like I feel like the term is not fitting anymore.
No, yeah. It's like when you've been together for as long as we have, terms like girlfriend and boyfriend just feel so elementary. Especially when it's like you're both adults, you both have jobs, you're both doing school, you're both like you both have responsibilities and you both have your own money. Like it's like girlfriend and boyfriend. Are you kidding me? You know.
And I think too, just the culture we're in. It's
No, yeah.
the colleges and everything. It's in this culture. It feels normal for people to get married earlier and for people
Yeah.
to be fiancés at like 18 and 19, which is crazy. It's crazy that we ever felt like we were late. You know. Everyone's.
I know.
Yeah.
Realistically, we're actually still very young.
Yeah.
Like,
So.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just happy with how things turned out. It's so exciting to think about what we can do together, what this podcast can become. Because like I was saying in the beginning, we came into this space with a vision of what it would be and who our target audience would be, and now everything's changing. And so we hope that you all will change with us and give us your insight and walk with us as we enter something new. I was talking about this with someone literally this morning. Like, we're introverts and this is the introvert city, but we have changed so much as introverts to the point where people might not even know that that's a truth about us. You know, we hosted a community event. Like, that's not something introverts would usually pursue, I would think. And I hope that that can be an encouragement to people that it's, if you grew up shy, if you grew up not knowing like what your future would look like and being very introspective, that you can do these things and you can chase these things. You just have to take the opportunities that are in front of you and understand what you feel like your God-given call really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, there really is so many examples I can point to of people being surprised that we're introverts.
Yeah.
At this point,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's not that we're not, you know, but it's like I think people confuse introvert with not liking or not being comfortable around people.
Yeah.
I enjoy human interaction. I'm not a fish. I enjoy being around people. I enjoy gathering with people. I enjoy being around people who just are in a good mood and want to seek something. And I think a lot of my joy in life comes from finding those really good connections and relationships. I think it just depends on how you want those relationships and connections, you know?
That was very well said. And we are at the time that we're at 30 minutes exactly.
Bye, guys.
Does this feel like a good start? So, like I said, we are not sure. Before, when we were very consistent, we were posting bi-monthly, I think every other week. And now we're just very, very busy, and we want to be consistent, so we don't want to, you know, come on here for a month and not come back for 2 months. But our consistency will probably be a little bit less frequent. But just know that we're trying to build what we can. And we're also making some shorter YouTube videos now, which we've really been enjoying. You can follow us on Instagram at _introvert_city. We're always doing fun stuff on there. And we'll see what this looks like.
Yep.
Maybe, hopefully one day, our own studio, our own equipment.
We'll see. We will see with all that. But we're going to try. I think we want to keep trying to go with all of this. I think that it's just time for a new approach.
I'm gonna cry. Bye, guys.
Bye, HOMEBODIES.
You can find me at Carina_B04.
You can find me at its_DAMEYL. You can find us at the_introvert_city. We're on TikTok and Facebook as well. You can like, subscribe. You can like, you can like, subscribe, comment, send this to somebody, and you know
Tell us what you think. I want to know what you think.
Give us reviews, even if you hate it. Give us reviews.
Well, not if you hate it.
If you hate them, give us.
No, because that
give
will
us
look bad
reviews.
on our Spotify.
I'll cry, but